Mention the year 1904 to any St. Louisan and they'll tell you that was the year the city hosted the World's Fair. Fewer people probably know the 1904 Olympics took place here at the same time. But if you're really up on your Olympics trivia, you'll know Francis Field wasn't the only local venue for the games. The other location has some impressive distinctions.
I drive all the way from Chesterfield to come out here, although there's other clubs that are less than 5 minutes from my home. I still make the drive out here because I love it so much.
When you first became a member here, is that when you learned about that Olympic connection?
That's right, yes.
What did you think?
I thought it was pretty neat.
On the grounds of the Glen Echo Country Club in Normandy, you'll see an Olympic flag flying near the clubhouse. These are flown only at locations where Olympic competition has taken place. And at the 1904 Olympics held in St. Louis, Glen Echo was the venue for golf.
In 1904, this is a hole that determined the Olympic match. So Chandler Egan, who was the reigning U.S. amateur champion, was playing against George Lyon from Canada. And Chandler hit it into the lake, hit a hook shot, went 2 down on this hole, never recovered, and George Lyon ended up winning the match. But the neat thing is that number 15 here is essentially unchanged from 1904. The golf course essentially is unchanged. So you've got a golf course that was the only one that ever had a gold medal match in the Olympics. And basically 15 of the 18 holes are just like they were back in 1904 when the match was held.
This painting shows what the country club looked like at the time it hosted the tournament. The sport wasn't nearly as popular internationally as it is today. In fact, most of the competitors were from the St. Louis area. Golf was an Olympic event only once before, at the 1900 Games in Paris. But in 2009, the International Olympic Committee voted to reinstate it. Golf returns for the 2016 Games in Rio de Janeiro. That turns the spotlight back on Glen Echo and its impressive history.
This originally was 160 acres. A French nobleman moved to St. Louis sometime around 1840, purchased this land and what is all of Normandy right now and most of UMSL. Kept that until the Hunt family took over the property.
In 1901, Colonel George McGrew, a successful businessman considered the father of golf in St. Louis, made an offer for the land.
Colonel McGrew approached the family and said, "I'd love to build this 18-hole golf course. Would you lease the property to me for 6 years at $1,000 a year, with an option to purchase it later on," which of course he did.
The course was designed by 1896 U.S. Open champion Jim Fowlis. It was constructed by his brother Robert. They were born where golf itself was born, St. Andrews, Scotland. They learned the art and craft of golf course design from the best in the field.
When we opened in 1901, one of our founders was a big aviator. In fact, you know who he is. His name is Albert Lambert, Lambert Field named after him, kind of like the planes flying by here. He had his own plane, and back then St. Louis Country Club was located not too far away. And he had a buddy over there that liked to fly too. So every once in a while they would trade. He would get in his plane, fly over to St. Louis Country Club, pick him up, fly over to Glen Echo and literally land on the 17th fairway. They'd play golf here, fly back to St. Louis Country Club, land there and play golf there.
Lambert, who was Colonel McGrew's son-in-law, was also president of Lambert Pharmaceutical Company, maker of products including the iconic antiseptic mouthwash Listerine. Glen Echo has hosted a number of amateur and professional tournaments over the past century. The Ladies Professional Golf Association was in its infancy when the club sponsored its first LPGA tournament in 1954.
This symbolizes the Olympic torch. We've always had one, but we just had this installed here this year, so it's quite beautiful.
To celebrate its centennial in 2004, Glen Echo members dressed in classic golf attire that included knickers and played with hickory shafted clubs. It's a rich heritage in which they take great pride.